Welcome to Seeing Scarlet. It is Shelby. We're here to recap all the things in Texas Tech sports. Big ones on the show, Texas Tech Softball. They doing the damn thing, y'all. And if you're listening to this show and you're in Lubbock or in the surrounding areas, I better see you at the Rock this weekend. You have a Big 12 championship level team. What are they, 11-1 in Big 12 play right now? Trying to win a Big 12 championship for the first time in school history. And if they sweep this series or even just win this series, they're in a really good spot to do that before they head on the road to a massive series next week at Arizona. Get to the Rock and pack it. Be there. Be there. I'm sure Tyler has the marketing pitch coming up. That's softball. We're going to talk about basketball. The Lady Raiders have 3 visitors coming into town this weekend. We'll talk a little bit about each of them. Kind of talked about 2 of them last week. One of them we didn't know was visiting yet, but look at us. Sometimes we find some things on our own, and who knew? A player that we liked is actually visiting, so that's good. We'll talk about all the players. Men's basketball has a couple people on campus. Women's tennis also could win a Big 12 championship this weekend at home. I'm going to pop over there. I might miss some softball to be at the tennis game on Sunday, but I think they might be able to clinch a Big 12 title on Friday or Sunday. I'll look into that, but they're in first place right now with only 2 matches to go. And a lot of other things going on in Texas Tech sports. It's a very busy time. I've been at spring football lately and doing some covering football. Awesome stuff, y'all. They just got some big signings. A lot of fun out there. The football team is doing the thing. All these things we can talk about. We'll get into that this episode or another time. Before we get started, I never asked this. We'll look at the camera. If you're watching our show, if you could just do us a favor and click subscribe and really means a lot. Really helps us. I'm not someone, I always forget to even ask that. Someone told me that the other day. I'm like, you're right. So this is me asking and saying thank you if you already do that. Really appreciate it. We do this out of a passion to help grow these programs. And the way that you can help us is really just hitting subscribe. It's free. Hitting like, sharing it with friends. That's how we grow this and helps us just kind of keep this thing growing. So there you go. There's my spiel. Tyler, how's it going? Tell people all the marketing things about what's going on at the Rock this weekend. I know you got all the good stuff.
Yeah, this weekend we have a really huge series against Houston. Houston's one of those teams that brought in a really good freshman class, and they brought in a few transfers, and now they're kind of on the rise. They can hit really well. So this weekend we have a couple of fun themes for y'all. There should not be any weather issues other than it being bright and sunny. So wear your sunscreen. Don't get sunburned like I did. Bring your sunscreen, bring your hats, and dress in holiday attire because, guys, it's holiday weekend. So on Friday, you're going to dress in Valentine's Day theme. Saturday, you're going to dress up in Christmas theme, and it'll be 90 degrees, so maybe go for the short sleeve t-shirt. And then lastly, on Sunday, it's 4th of July theme, so very fitting for the weather. So y'all dress out, wear your Valentine's red and pink, your Christmas red and green.
But I look
Oh,
forward to
no.
seeing what.
Yeah, wear red. Just wear red. Something like, of that nature. And then on Sunday, wear your red, white, and blue. Texas Tech represent in
Let's
America. I
go.
think it's also military appreciation. So,
That tracks.
yes,
Cool. We
it
got to get some
tracks.
students out there. Tyler's obviously there. Get those frats out there, those sororities out there. We got to create a really good home field advantage. So this
Yes.
is maybe there's 2 home series left, right? The one after they get back to, I'm not sure, maybe Arizona State. And then there's a potential regional coming up for this team if they keep trucking. And we got to get some rowdy
Would be
fans going. There's been
huge,
some decent
huge.
crowds out there at times. I think I saw something the other day where we've broken the series attendance record every week, or every series this year, which is a little bit wild to me. I'm like, because it could be so much better. But they are doing good things. But I really would love to see that place packed to the brim this weekend.
For sure.
I know baseball's going on, but if you haven't been out to softball, just go. It's so exciting. And you have the number 1 player in the country. She just won Big 12 Player of the Week again. She has her own website now,
I know.
NigelKennedy24.com. I think that's like their Heisman push, like they do for football. I think they're doing that to get her back-to-back Player of the Year awards. She might be here for 2 years, maybe a third. I don't know. 5-5 rule. But she's special. So get out there, and then her teammates are just, you have some dogs on this team. So please get out there and support them. Check them out. You'll have a good time. We'll be there. You can come say, hey. We'll be rolling around taking good pictures. I'll take free pictures of you and your family. Is that a perk? I'll do whatever I gotta do to get you at the game. Family portraits in the stands? Hit me up if you see me. I'll take a picture of your family for you. Whatever has to happen to get you out to the Rock this weekend. So that is softball and what they've been up to, why you need to be there. What did they do last week? Real quickly, what happened in the ACU game? What were your standouts? That was happening last week while we were recording. They won 7-3, 7-4. What'd you have?
Yeah, we ended up beating ACU 7-3. Actually, ACU broke their own attendance record just watching us, so that's the
That's
impact
happening all
Naja
over the
has.
country, and that's why it needs
Yes,
to happen, or all over the state, really, wherever we go. We're setting records because of Nyjah, and they want to see her. That needs to be happening in our own
exactly.
ballpark every single game.
Yep.
Anyway, continue.
Agreed. Agreed. She's right there in Lubbock. Lubbock is way bigger than Abilene. So, guys, do better. Please do better. Please support this team. But we took down ACU. I think that the biggest thing that I took away from that was Sam Lincoln. She had herself a game. She pitched in 5 innings, only allowed one earned run, and she had 4 strikeouts. So, there you go, freshman. There you go. You had one heck of a game this past week, and I think that was huge for her to also kind of give Naja a rest so that we didn't have to play her in the mid-game series, or yeah, that mid-game. So yeah, big things that came from that ACU game.
Yeah, I love that. That was good stuff. Good to get everybody experience, get it done. We're on the road, get to play in a big crowd. Everybody's there to get autographs, doing our part to grow the game. Check, check. Come back home. You have a big series at home with Utah. Need to sweep it, really. Wasn't necessary, but kind of needed to take advantage of it with Utah. Weather was annoying. They had to play early, mess with the crowd, but that's life. And they were able to sweep a doubleheader on Friday before 6 p.m. They had 2 wins and the series secured, as the Texas Tech Athletic Department put out. That is what you call efficiency. It was. And Nyjah got the win in both games, didn't mess around, pitched in both games on one day. And we'll show you the highlights from game 1, and then we can go through some of the leaders.
Nelson sends it in the air to deep center.
Started out with some really good contact from Utah. Who Utah can hit it. We were talking with some of the coaches after, and they knew that as well going into the series, and they did make some good contact on balls. That was a great catch by Maya Davis. If you haven't been to games and don't know, Maya Davis is electric. Fun player.
Onto it as she crashes into the
wall. A lot of people don't make that catch, and then this would have been
on target for Sunday.
Oh, they didn't show it because the next player I think hit a home run. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's 1-0 Utah. So that would have been a 2-0 home run if we don't make that catch. But Nyjah calms down, chills in. I think that ends up being the only run allowed by Nyjah in 3 games on the weekend. Was that home run, and it was kind of a fly ball, really, that just got caught up in the wind.
There we go, Lana.
She had a great weekend, I thought.
She
did. A lot
of
clutch moments, just good at-bats from her. Good to see her get it going.
There we go.
She was so late on that swing.
I know.
It's tough. I shouldn't laugh, but...
Off-speed pitch upstairs, throw down to second. And Texas
Great
Tech
job, Demi, purposely getting caught in the rundown there. Allows the runner to score on that play. We got a run in there. They didn't show it, but...
In on the hands.
Nyjah Kennedy.
Nyjah!
Whoa!
Nyjah! Well, you terrified me. I know these poor trainers in that dugout are just like, can you please? But that's who she is. She's the dog. She's a competitor. She doesn't think like all the fans are thinking, like, don't hurt yourself. She's trying to make a play, and she goes, that is electric. She doesn't have a gold glove to her name, but she's made a lot of good. She made a diving catch like that against UT earlier in the year. I still haven't seen the replay because I was on a plane, and they didn't post it, remember? But there was some crazy play I know she made that game, too. And she's made some others.
Yes.
So let's start the Nyjah Gold Glove train.
Let's
I'm gonna
do
start
it.
that campaign. Put it on the website.
Let's add it to her list.
Add it to her little NyjahKennedy24.com.
That skips away. Here comes Maya Davis.
Maya Davis, speed.
Utah had some runners on throughout, but Nyjah's Nyjah.
The appeal.
Bye-bye.
And she did go around.
Sit down.
Bailey
Lindemith.
She had herself a good weekend as well.
She did. She's heating up
Huge.
a little bit. We seem to have people, which is how softball works, coming and going and heating up at the right times. Speaking of heating up, back-to-back weekends for Maya Davis with a home run. Again, before the one last weekend, the weekend before last, she hadn't had a home run since her freshman year. That was off the scoreboard. That was not a little bit out. That was off the scoreboard. So she's got some power to her. I love it. She had a great weekend as well. Alana, Bailey, Maya, they might have been our biggest players this weekend offensively.
That is line to left field, base hit.
Always
Tony
solid.
touches third. The throw
Langoliers.
comes to second, and Langoliers knocks in Haley. Tony.
Haley had a good weekend. And
Valdez.
shout out
Vic
Vic
Valdez.
Valdez.
Base
Walks
hit.
this game off.
Texas
A
Tech
run
has
roll
won
walk
it.
off. She was 0 for 17 in her last 17 at bats coming into that plate appearance right there. And she had been making some good contact. It was going right at people. They're making good plays. She got it through the hole there. And sometimes you just need that clutch moment. I think she has a couple more. She has a big clutch moment in that third game that's a little bit wild as well to get us tied. So sometimes you break that streak, and that's all you need. So that was game 1. Do you have any leaders you want to run through before we hop into game 2?
Yeah, so our girl Nige, she only pitched in 4 innings, had 3 hits, only 1 earned run allowed, and 6 strikeouts. Then Chloe came in and had a 3 up, 3 down inning to take care of business for that. Maya Davis, she went 2 for 3, had 2 RBIs, 2 runs, and 1 home run. Haley Tony went 2 for 3 and had 2 runs. She also had 2 doubles in that, which is huge. Alexa Langoliers went 1 for 3, had 1 RBI and 1 run. Alana Johnson went 1 for 3 and had 1 RBI and 2 runs. Demi Elder, being the Demi Elder that we all know and love, went 1 for 3 and had 1 RBI. Bailey Lindemuth went 2 for 3, 1 RBI and 1 home run. And then Vic Valdez went 1 for 2 and had 1 RBI.
Yeah, that was kind of the game. We just showed you the highlights. My computer is fighting with me, but we went into game 2. And why don't you run through the leaders first, and then we'll show the highlights. We'll do it backwards since you already have it pulled up, and I'll pull up the highlights while you're going.
Yeah, so Nija, she had to pitch in all 7 innings in this game. I don't think that was a big surprise there once Utah decided that they weren't going to play their best pitcher until this game. So she
They
so she
waved the
pitched.
white flag a little early in the first game, and so we
They did.
took out
They played
Nija
their.
after the 4th inning and
Yep.
played
They played their
yourself.
16 ERA pitcher to end that first game. So they waved the white flag, and then they brought in their star pitcher, and we were like, all right, hold on. Nija, let's cook. Nija pitched the full 7 innings, 0 earned runs, only allowed 2 hits, and had 8 strikeouts in this game. Huge pitching from her, obviously,
and the
as
fact
always.
They had just seen her 20 minutes, well, maybe like an hour before that, but when she came
Right,
out,
exactly.
and they still couldn't.
They still were bamboozled by her. They just were like, wow. So, and as a matter of fact, they just started swinging because she didn't even allow a earned run or a home run or anything. So, once Nisha gets heated up, like she's on point. So that was huge from her. Maya Davis went 2 for 3, had 1 RBI and a double. Alexa Langoliers went 2 for 3, had 1 run, 1 RBI. And that 1 RBI was her home run that she had. Demi Elder went 2 for 3, had got on base, huge, so that we were able to get in some runs. And then Vic Valdez went 2 for 2. Vic Valdez, have yourself a weekend, and had 1 RBI.
Have yourself a weekend. Let's go. Let's watch it. Let's watch the highlights. Just Nija striking people out. Looks silly.
Swing and a miss.
I love when she gives, like, I don't know if it's Vic calling plays now or if it's coming from Tara or whatever, but she always gives Vic, like, good call. Like, she'll get him on that, she'll trick him on that off speed, and she's like, you're right, good call. We got him. We checked him. I like their little interactions. They crack me up.
Swing and a miss. Off speed pitch.
She was getting a little salty with that umpire, which I love. I love to see when Nija gets a little bit spicy with the umpire. Like, bro,
we love it.
Let's not mess around here. I know where the strike zone is.
That's rolled towards the left side. It snakes through.
There we go.
Here comes Holloman with the first run of the game.
The torpedo of speed, Logan Holloman.
Strike 3 called on the outside edge.
Said fine. That's a strikeout.
There's strike 3 called.
Another strike.
That looked like the same exact. It was a different batter, but
on the
outside
outside
the same
edge.
exact spot. That's how good she is. It's crazy.
That's lined towards the right side and gloved by Langoliers.
Just steady out there. Speaking of Langoliers, says I can do this
She
too.
lifts this one in the air to center field. It's hit well. It's out by the wall. It's gone.
Yeah, boom.
That's what she does. She just hits home runs and everything, really.
Got her on the rise ball.
Obnoxiously good.
Could not lay off the rise ball.
Nija,
3 in the game.
How? I have so many questions.
Swing and a miss.
Why are you the way that you are?
Another one for
I need to
Nija.
know.
And the Utes are down to their final. 1-2 pitch. Swing.
There
and a
we
miss.
go.
She strikes out the side in the 7th and
Coogs.
secures another series victory in the Big 12 for
Chef
Tech.
Nija.
Chef Nija. Yeah, I mean, she has all sorts of nicknames. So that was game 2. Again, really impressive to sweep a doubleheader. It's not ideal to have to do that, and for weather, they've had to do it twice in Big 12 play now at home, where they've had to kind of have their plans messed up on them, and mental toughness has kind of become the theme of this team. You heard us talk about it with this team working on that earlier in the year, and it's just something that they've kind of gotten coming around to, and it's like things like this just don't faze them anymore. And I think that's what's going to help them, and they're going to have to keep doing that as the competition gets better. But it's good to see, and certainly, in Game 3, you want to talk about mental toughness.
Woo.
This game had everybody in the stands. I was there. Tyler was there. We were all ready to bang our heads into the concrete in the concourse. So I can't imagine how the players felt. It just felt like one thing after another was like some bad luck, some poor decisions on our part where we get caught off base. I don't doubt you'll see it in the highlights, but we had chance after chance after chance after chance. I mean, we get down 4-0 early, which you definitely won't see in the highlights either. That's not how these highlights work. So we're gonna get down 4-0 in the first inning on a couple of home runs. One of them was a pop fly on most days, but it's Lubbock and it gets out. You're down 4-0 all of a sudden, and then you have chance. You get thrown out on the base pass like 3 innings in a row. You line out to third base when the bases are loaded. Then you have Demi Elder, which I don't know if they'll show either, has a great at-bat and narrowly misses a grand slam to take the lead in about the third or fourth inning, whenever that was. I mean, it hooked, but it was, you could tell she thought it was. I got a great picture of her where she's like looking at it. Like everyone thought it was out. That would have been such a cool moment. She did get a walk eventually, and I think we ended up getting at least 1 run in that inning. But they just kept chipping away. But it just kind of felt like it was not their day. This team said, no, we're not worried. We'll just keep hacking. We were talking about this after the game. You never would have known that the vibes were like that frustrating as a fan in the dugout. They were just living their life and very encouraging and just kept plugging away, kept swinging, tried to break the door down, so to speak, and they eventually do. So that's what you're about to see in these highlights, and we'll just let you watch them since I set up the scene, and then we can give you the actual people, but we'll talk about them throughout. So really entertaining game in Game 3 to see them fight back that way. So you'll see... I'm on the wrong game. Sorry, my bad. You can see it's jumped ahead. Bottom of the first. We're already down 4-0 at this point.
They'd love to hang on to this 4-0
find a way to get
lead.
one
This one
run
is
here.
sent into center field. Rounding third and coming for home. The play at the plate. Ball gets away and a run is home.
Haley had a good
Texas
weekend
Tech
as
is on
well.
the board.
Bailey and Haley, our little freshmen, combining. Nija came into this game in the second inning and
Swing and a miss for strike 3.
didn't allow
The
a run the rest
Nija
of the game.
things.
Yeah,
Cheers
she's clutching
to
that way.
Posse. Swung on and missed, and there is strike 3. Foul tip into the glove of Vic
Again, to be
Valdez,
facing the same
2
team
away.
for the third time
Key
in
catalyst to the
3
Texas
days,
Tech offense.
basically.
They need
Not
her to
an
get
easy
rolling
task.
here. This one looped into left, and that's going to get by Shelby
Hesitation will
Ortiz,
get you every
and
time.
Maya Davis's
We don't
speed.
get anything
She's
out of
turning
this,
for
but just a
third.
simple fact that is a
Maya
triple.
Davis flying
A
around
triple.
the base paths.
Is how
Nelson.
fast Maya Davis is. I need y'all to get to the rock and watch her. She is so much fun to watch play softball.
Fly out.
She is.
Capobianco a strikeout.
And then
Boom.
Nija just does what Nija does to give us a chance.
Throw you.
She doesn't get
In a
frustrated
2-0
either.
count.
It would be easy as a pitcher to get frustrated when your offense is so close, and just isn't getting it done for you. She was hitting as well, so she was a part of that too. She was seeing it first up close and personal, but it was good to see her hit some more. I think she had a hit in this game as well. But she didn't let it get to her. She just kept doing her job and trusted that
You're lucky
her
enough to
team would
even
come
get
through
to
for
a
her.
2-0 count. His first
Demi
pitch
Elder,
swinging.
she says,
That
I don't
one
hesitate
diving.
on fly balls like that other girl, like that Utah player. I'm diving out for this. It's so good to have Demi Elder
Big
back.
catch and left by Demi
Just
I
a
love
vibe
this
out
catch
there.
from her.
Just a vibe. Lana Johnson
That one's hit
broke
sharply
down
into
the
center.
damn
It
door.
will get
Finally,
down.
5th
One
inning, I
run is
believe
home.
it
They will put
is.
up the stop sign at third.
That gets us a
Johnson
run.
able to get
Hadn't
to
scored
second.
since that first inning that we got the 1 run. Now it's 4-2. Vic Valdez to the plate. 2 runners on, a single will tie it. Been the most frustrating game ever. And she says, not for me. Not for me.
Chance here
Chill.
to potentially tie the game, especially if she can get a good piece of this
Tie
one. Sends it
game.
down the
Great
left
base
field
running by
line.
Lana. Had a
Rounding
great jump
third
off
and
of second
coming
base
for
there.
home.
That
The
was
game is
not even a
tied.
chance to
Vic
throw.
Valdez with a 2 RBI
Massive.
single.
Vic Valdez, just clutch. I love that there's so many different players this year that have had that moment. Like, I feel like there are certain players like, I want that person to be up to bat, but it almost feels like everybody on the team has had some sort of clutch moment, and that's really cool to see as we get into these bigger games.
4 base hits in the inning for the Red Raiders to give Tech their first lead of the
We're
game.
tied at this point. Now we have Maya up to bat.
The 0-2.
She's going to give us the
Right
lead.
side.
She had herself
They
a
will
weekend.
send the runner. Halloman coming home. The throw is not in time.
Bro, Logan.
Logan is so
Texas
fast.
Tech with the lead.
That was just a basic old single to right field, and she didn't even have to slide.
Nope.
Didn't even have to slide. I mean,
Back and forth
just so
atop
fast.
the Big 12 strikeout
And then,
list. There's another
I mean,
one
you
for
knew we were
Kennedy as she
Gucci from
goes
there
upstairs on Mayfield.
because it's Nija, but we said, hey, some insurance runs would be nice if I'm greedy. And Lana Yaboom Johnson said, Shelby, I got you. Kept her weekend going and got her
Hit this
5th
one well to
home
left,
run
going
on the
back,
year.
track,
Not a cheap
wall,
one either. That was
gone,
over the bullpen.
On cue, Alana Johnson. Yeah, she's got it back rolling.
Yeah,
Back
she does have it
4-0
rolling. And then, yeah,
first half
3-run
inning of the
lead.
game. Swing and a
That's
miss
it's
for
over
strike
from
3
there.
Race Lee.
Nigel's gonna end it. Say goodnight.
Yeah.
Key piece a year ago as
Nigel said, get on the
strike
plane.
3,
Get
right
on the
down
plane,
middle.
get back to those
Said he wants
mountains.
to
Hope
sweep
you had
this
a nice
weekend, he
stay
wants to
here in
sweep
Lubbock.
next weekend
You
against
brought the
Houston.
snow with you. Appreciate it. Bye. See you next year. Maybe see you in
Step
Kansas
1
City.
of
I
the
don't know.
journey
Or Oklahoma
complete
City.
for Texas Tech.
But we'll see you then. That was your Big 12 Pitcher of the Year. The second time she has won that award this year. She had 3 wins on the weekend. She had the win in every single game. That is softball. It can be done. If we need her to do it, you might see that in the postseason. But we did have some other people. Maybe they were getting some rest in this game. But she stepped up because they needed her to pitch, and she's like, I got you. So who else stood on this game? Box score rise, run through it. Let the people know.
Yeah, so Nige, she pitched in 6 innings, had 8 strikeouts, only 2 hits allowed, and as we said, 0 earned runs. Obviously, Maya Davis went 2 for 4, had 1 RBI, and that included a triple, and then that single that brought Holloman in, which really made us take the lead, which was so huge and a very frustrating game. It felt like Alexa Linglers went 1 for 2 and had 2 runs. Bailey Lindemuth went 3 for 4, had 1 RBI and 1 run. As a matter of fact, whenever Bailey was up to bat, and before she got that RBI, I was sitting there right behind like home plate, and I said, "Be a hitter." And then as soon as she did, she got that RBI, and I was like, "See,
Okay, Coach. Okay, Coach Tyler. Bailey's like, I got you, Tyler. No big deal. I'll be a hitter.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, let's manifest it in here, and it sure did work. And then Alana Johnson went 2 for 4, had 3 RBIs, and then 2 runs, and then she had that homer that gave us that cushion. And then Vic Valdez 1 for 3, and then had 2 RBIs, which really helped us tie that game. Huge, huge, huge to see from her. And yeah, like we said, very, very frustrating game. But you wouldn't have told that from the dugout, especially Coach Tara and Coach Kayla were there before every at-bat. They would always talk to the player, give them hints and tips. Even Maddie Wright a little bit. We're just like, hey, like, you got this. Like, just pitchers doing that. I learned more about the game of softball. So if y'all want to sit near the home dugout and just listen in, like, hey, you can maybe start your own little coaching resume for the rec league or something if you listen to them. I mean, it's just some amazing stuff to hear. So that was huge.
Yeah, we got some really, really good softball minds on this coaching staff, and it's a really well-constructed coaching staff where they all have their roles and their specialties and what they do well. It's a great staff, and they're very competitive, and they want to win, and they believe they're going to win. I think that's what they, like, maybe the team is frustrated, maybe the fans are frustrated. They were like, no, we're gonna get this, and they were encouraging them throughout, and just kept doing. That's what you have to do. That's just what competitors do. So yeah, they were definitely keeping them in it because there were some frustrating moments, some young moments, some inexperienced moments that you have to learn from, but they stepped up and got it going. Nija, again, Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. Why? 3 wins on the week. In 17 innings pitched, she had 22 strikeouts, only 1 run allowed.
That's Nija Kennedy.
Pretty absurd.
Be
That's
good.
Nija Kennedy. So
Pretty
get
good.
out to the ballpark this weekend and watch her. I did have a couple questions in the inbox, which which means you're paying attention to softball because you're concerned. That's the kind of questions we always get, or when people are concerned. People noted that Lauren Allred left the game. I don't really have any sort of injury update, but I was just going through questions for softball. Does appear she left with some sort of something. Hopefully it's nothing major. She seemed fine after the game, but I have no idea. All I would say is if she does have to miss this weekend, it's just a chance for some people that haven't been able to play because she's been so good out there. Maybe Reagan gets out there. We haven't seen her in a bit. Maybe Logan gets out there and Alana plays first base. I don't know. Or maybe Lauren's like, I'm Gucci, y'all. Stop stressing. I just wanted some water. So that's your answer. The team hasn't put anything out, but she was like up and moving around. I don't think it's anything long term, but that's to answer that. And yeah, it's really the only softball questions we had. So get out to the ballpark, be there, wear all your holiday attire, and support this team. They have now won 4 Big 12 series in a row to start Big 12 play. 3 of those in a row have been sweeps. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think we've ever done that. We had not swept a home series since 2016. They just did that. They have a chance to sweep 4 series in a row in conference play this weekend. You can't sleep on Houston, but it could happen.
No.
Do you have anything on Houston?
So Houston, they have their hitters. So their best hitter, Brooke Wells. Fun fact, I know her. I'm friends with her. We went to high school together.
Psych her out.
Yeah, she also is really good friends with Anya German, who's on our team. They think they played like travel ball together, so it'll be fun
Injured
for
right
them to
now,
kind of.
so they can't go at each other.
Oh yes. But hopefully, Tech gets the win, and Anya can be like, haha, see, I'm on the winning team. But no, I'm just kidding. But for sure, Brooke Wells is someone that needs to watch. She's hitting at a 382. And then they also have Jordy Wilkins, who's hitting at a 365. And then their third best hitter is hitting at a 296, Maddox. And then Houston, they just have like 80 million pitchers. I'm not exaggerating. They really like have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 pitchers. But it seems like their best one is Nicole Bordeaux. She has an ERA of a 3.61. Then it's Gigi Solis, who has a 4.79. And then Brooke Wells, again, she has a 5.37. And then it looks like they also play Riley Mychalk a lot, who has a 6.35. So overall, Houston, they will allow a couple of runs. You just got to capitalize on it. We said the same thing about the Utah pitchers, and they were giving us a hard time up until like the 5th or 6th inning. So, you never know with that. But this Houston team, they can hit. That's how they've squeaked out of a lot of games. Brooke Wells has been clutch for them, so just got to be very careful with this one because it could be a trap series. However, I'm very confident that we will be able to hopefully get the sweep.
For sure. There is a couple of familiar faces on this team. Francie Willis transferred there. She's a pitcher. I don't know how much she pitches, but I do know McKenna Mitchell is a mainstay in their lineup. She has maybe 7 doubles, 8 home runs for them. She was a freshman at Texas Tech last year. She was our backup third baseman behind the great Gold Glove, Riley Love. We got to see McKenna play a couple of times, but she didn't get much behind Riley. She's a good player, though. She transferred back home to Houston and is playing for them and doing pretty well. So good for her. But that is a former Red Raider. I'm sure she's eager to get back to Lubbock and show what she can do in a ballpark she spent a lot of time in and hit some BP in, so she knows how that ball flies. So just one to watch for Texas Tech fans. She is a former player here. But yeah, they can absolutely hit the ball even better than Utah. Like they're 6th in the conference, I think, in batting average. That's not their problem. They've put up a lot of runs this year. They've given up just as many. That's been their issue. But they can hit it for sure. So could be some, hopefully not explosive, but wouldn't be shocked if they get some runs over here or there. Now it's just like, Shelby, that ain't happening. What are you talking about?
And I just like, I got you.
Did y'all hear this girl? This idiot. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. So get out to the ballpark. Hope to be there. I'll definitely be there for 2 games. I'm probably going to sneak over to tennis at some point if they're about to win the Big 12 championship and cross over. But they're right by each other. So I'll be at both somehow. So that is softball. Buy your tickets now. I'll be there. Next on the list, we have basketball. So quick update on the Lady Raiders. We talked last week about some potential targets. No one else has entered the portal as of now. We'll just monitor that. We'll see if there's any more movement as it goes. But it's been stable for a bit now. Now it's about who they're going to add. They have 3 visitors coming. We talked about Laura Rokol. Rokol? Is that how you say her name, Tyler?
I think it's Rokol. Yes.
Rokol?
Yes.
last week as having us in her top 4, so we talked quite a bit about her. But if you missed that episode, you can jump back and listen to it a little bit more. But I can run through some notes in a minute that I put together in an article today. Also, Gemma Nunes, who we talked about last week, is maybe one of our diamonds of the portal. Like, I don't know, she seems good. Turns out the team actually had scheduled a visit, so that works out well. Someone that we talked about last week. And then a player we didn't talk about, Astura Tuhina from Washington State. But y'all might remember her because we played her earlier in the year. Good little player. You want to talk about Laura since you know her so well, and then I can give quick notes on the other people, or do you want me to just run through the notes I put in the article and call it a day?
I can run through Laura real quick for the people. So yeah, so Laura, she was on my list before we were even, scheduling. I saw
Tyler
she
was
we
on
made her
it.
top 4. I was looking at her, but she's averaging 10 points. She averaged 10 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 1.9 blocks per game. So I think she's up there in the blocking numbers and
Active.
rankings. Yes, active, just like Sarah was as well. And she also averages 1.5 steals. Biggest thing on Laura is she can move. She can she can steal the ball and go all the way down and make a layup. She's really great at finishing at the rim. She can complete layups. It's great. And then the best thing that I love from her is that this girl can box out. Doesn't matter who it is or who she's up against or if they're bigger than her. She does not care. She's going to box out. She's going to grab that rebound, and then hopefully she's going to make a great pass or get it back to someone or get it back to a player so that they can go and shoot and go on the other end of the floor. But biggest thing is she knows how to box out and that she can finish at the rim, because that's something that I think that we need to see a lot of, and we need to see a lot of production down there in the bottom of the paint.
Yeah. You need a post player that will catch the ball when your guards throw it to you. Speaking, nothing's more frustrating. I'm just going to put that out there. And I think we have some guards on this team that are going to spontaneously combust if another one of their great passes bounces off of a post player's hands out of bounds in the middle of a game. So please go get them a post player that when we do, because sometimes we don't make the best post entry passes, but sometimes we do, and they just aren't being caught. So yeah, not a player that's going to shoot outside the lane, all these things, lives in the lane, but the analytic people are very high on her because of her efficiency, and she really wasn't like super involved in their offense either. She just finishes at a high rate. So maybe if we get her involved in pick and rolls, if you watch her tape, she's out on the perimeter all the time defensively. It makes me think she'd be perfectly fine setting some screens, screening and rolling out on the perimeter. I didn't see Charleston use her in that way, but I'm thinking there's ways to involve her more offensively because she can catch and finish. Then it feels like Charleston kind of just used her as a player to rebound and put back, maybe kind of like slip passes in the lane. So maybe she could be more involved, but basically averaging 10 and 10. You'll take that. We looked her up earlier. She played Northwestern, and she basically had their averages against Northwestern. One power conference school, not a great one, but still a Big Ten school. I think she was 9 and 9 in that game. So we'll see. Not a sure thing, obviously, but we're going after players that make sense fit-wise and ones that, quite frankly, they can afford, because I'm not going to get into it, but this market is insane. And if you're not, like, I know people have these dream players that are like going to UConn and stuff. Like, that's just not the playground we're playing in right now. But these are really good players that you can win with if it works out. So we'll see how that goes. She's in town right now, actually. Has had her visit today. The other one in town that was supposed to be in town today, a little bit of travel issues. She'll be in town tomorrow now, I think I heard. But is Gemma Nunes, who I talked about last week. So look at us. Both of us, we're just on it. Call us scouts over here. Another player, while Laura was one of the top rebounders in the country, this player was one of the top assist players in the country. How long have we been saying we need a point guard, we need a 5 player? Well, they brought in one of the top 10 rebounders in the country, and now one of the top 10 assist players in the country. And Gemma Nunes from Campbell, 6.5 assists a game, double assist to turnover ratio. Y'all heard me talk about that last week. If you missed that episode, really unique thing about her is she is one of 2 players in the country to average 8, 5, and 6. But if you even drop it down to like 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals a game, just bring it down even below her averages a little bit, one of 3 players in the country to put up those numbers. And it's Allie Beck from Ball State, great player, and then Megan McConnell as well from wherever she is. Both really great mid-major players that you would love to have on your team. And so to be in their company, I'll take that all day. Sure, there's a question on if it translates. I've watched quite a bit of her tape. You can go watch Campbell games against Campbell versus Miami, Campbell versus Virginia Tech. Campbell versus Wake Forest. They played 3 ACC teams this year. The full games are on YouTube if you want to watch them. Certainly gets, her ankles broken once against Haley Cavender. Sometimes maybe defensively she just gets out of position or whatever. But I don't know. I think she can hold her own. She comes from a defensive program. She's very, very well coached defensively. So that is the thing that gives me hope that she could figure it out. That would be the question. She's 5'7". She's pretty quick, but not elite quickness. Can she measure up? I think the offense is going to – I think the passing is going to translate. She is a true point guard. I don't have really any concerns about that because when I watch her, her eyes are so good. They're just so, she manipulates the defense. I love point guards, y'all. I could watch them play forever. I'm a big fan, right? And I just love watching people that have good eyes, and she knows how to manipulate the defense. She makes these skip passes that completely change the floor, right, and moves the defense around. These are things we're just not doing. Bailey has really good vision, and she makes them every once in a while, but she's not someone that's played point guard for a while, and so it's like doesn't always happen. Well, this girl, you can tell. She just manipulates the defense. Go watch some of her tape. I posted an article on Red Raider Sports today, included some video clips from her. If we end up signing her, we'll do a whole show and show you a lot of breakdown film on her. But she's a good player. She, again, leads the country, or is 6th in the country in assist, and just kind of does it all for them. I'm not 100% sure if her defensive translate or not. That's the big questions I keep getting all day in my inbox. But again, she had a career 83.9 defensive rating at Campbell, which would have been the best defensive rating on anybody on our team this year. Not saying the competition is the same, but if you even add 10 points to that, and she's a 93-point whatever defensive rating player, that's plenty good in my opinion. If she's adding 5-6 assists a game, and she defensive rebounds at a really high rate. One of the best defensive rebounding guards in the country is this girl. She had three different games where she had double-digit defensive rebounds. Just defensive rebounds, not counting any offensive rebounds. She had 10, 11, 11 defensive rebounds in different games. And she had a bunch of 8, a bunch of 7 rebound games. She's only 5'7". So that tells me she's not afraid to stick her nose in there and go do it. She doesn't offensive rebound a lot, but that could be a scheme thing. But she gets in there and defensively, she'll block out, she'll go fight. There's an interview with her out there, which will show if she commits. Then I'm like, okay, maybe she has that dog factor, where she's talking about almost bar for bar what Danae Fritz said in our video where we talked about her commitment, where she's talking about rebounding. And, I know I'm going to get it because I want it more, is what Danae said. This is exactly what Gemma says in this interview. Like, I love defense. I love rebounding. I just want it more than the other person, so I'm going to go get the ball. It's basically what she says. And while she's saying it, she has a shiner. Like, she has a black eye in this video. Like, that's just, so it gives me hope the dog factor is there. And that's the stuff that they'll have to suss out on the visit. But if she believes she can be here and she believes she can be at this level, then I'm excited to see if it works out here or elsewhere. If she doesn't believe, I know people laugh when I get into the mental stuff, but this is 100% where I'm at with this girl. If she's on campus and even an ounce of her doesn't seem like she thinks she can play here, she looks scared or whatever, which I don't get the vibe from her that that's going to be the case, I'll be like, okay, cool, next. I honestly would love her to be on campus and telling the coaches yeah, I'm an all Big 12 player, a delusional level stuff. She thinks she's going to win Big 12 MVP next year. That's the level of confidence we need in a player coming up from that level. And in a point guard, if she has that about her, as I like to say a lot, I think she could make that jump. And I think if it's not for us, it might be someone else. And we'll see. Because the other player that we have on campus and we haven't talked about as much is also a point guard option, I believe, in Astura Tahina. I apologize if I just butchered her new name. I will learn it like the back of my hand if you are a Lady Raider, because she's a really solid player. And the thing I like about her is I think her floor is higher than Gemma's. I think Gemma's ceiling is higher, but I think Astura's floor is pretty high because she's been who she is for 3 years now at Washington State. 2 of those in the Pac-12 this past year in the West Coast Conference when they moved down to that and the Pac-12 dissolved. Her numbers are very similar, about 7 points a game, 3 assists a game, 2 rebounds a game, maybe a steal a game. And all 3 of those seasons fluctuates a little bit here or there. Wildly didn't get any better when she dropped down in the West Coast Conference, which is weird. But it's also she really is just who she is. And so I genuinely believe if she becomes a Texas Tech player, She's probably going to give you about 7 points a game, 3 assists a game, 2 rebounds a game if she gets about the same minutes, because that's what she's done for 3 years, 2 in the Pac-12, 1 in the West Coast Conference. That's just who she is. I don't know that there's much more ceiling than that. Like, Gemma is like this player where it's like, oh, wow, she could maybe, if it translates, do these crazy things, right? So, 6th in the country in assists. If that translated, oh my gosh. But her floor might be a little bit lower because you don't know. With Tahina, you know, because she's done that. And I spent a lot of time thinking about, like, which one. Maybe they were willing to take both. I don't know, but they're both point guards. I do think Tahina could maybe play some off-ball because she did it. They had Walker, Charlize Legger Walker, is that how you say her name? Was one of the best point guards in the country a few years ago at Washington State. She now is at UCLA. She transferred, but she played alongside her when she was a freshman and sophomore. In her sophomore year specifically, Tahina shot over like 43% from 3, playing off ball mostly. So it's possible. She's just smaller, not too super small. She's 5'9", so it'd just be a little bit against Gerlich's MO of wanting big guards to have a 5'7" and a 5'9" guard in your backcourt at times. I don't know if we do that, but I guess we'll find out if both of them are an option or not. But it is an interesting debate, and like I've literally spent a lot of time thinking about it because that's how I am. And sometimes I'm like, oh, Gemma, and then sometimes I'm like, wait, I really like the floor being so high on this player, and like I genuinely believe she'll give us 8 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds a game. Like I genuinely like she'll step in and do that because that's what she's done. But Gemma's ceiling is so high, and like she's a point guard. Like I could watch her tape forever. I could just watch her manipulate defenses forever. The offense, she doesn't shoot. That's what concerns me. Although she does have some highlights where she's making some crazy deep threes. Maybe Gemma's shooting would get better if she had access to the womble. These are all things that kind of I flutter about in my brain, and we could probably have an entire podcast where we just literally sat here and talked about the difference between Gemma Nunes and Estera Tahina if you wanted me to nerd out for an hour, but because that's how much I've thought about it. I'm not even kidding. Like, it's been like on my brain for about 48 hours now. Like, okay, which one, Both of them are good players. I think one, again, has a higher floor. Just kind of depends on what they're thinking. And if they think that's why I guess here's the way I think about it. If they both hit their ceilings, is that player better than Bailey or Danae being the point guard? In my opinion, if Gemma Nunes hits her ceiling, she is better than Bailey or Danae at the point guard spot. If Tahina hits her ceiling, I don't know. Is she just kind of the same player?
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at, is like, which way do you want to go with it? Do you want to take that chance on a player, or do you want to play it safe? Or do you want to get both of them? I have no idea. We'll find out. She gets in later in the week. So those are 3. There's going to be more visitors down the line from that with other players, I believe, as well. We'll keep you updated. But if you have any thoughts on those, if you want to pick between them, Tyler, go for it. That's been the big question all day ever since I posted information on them was, well, which one do you think, Shelby? And I'm like, guys, I think I lean higher upside. Throw a dart because that's where we are as a program. You kind of have your impact people, I think, already on the roster, and Bailey and Danae and Jalen, if they stay, and Kyla, and maybe Bird develops, and all these people. Those are probably your huge impact people. If you can throw a dart to try to get another one, or do you play it safe and just think, hey, I'll take 7, 3, and 3 a game and be fine with it? I don't know. That's why I'm not a coach. That's for coaches to decide. But Tyler, who would you pick on the spot right now?
I really don't know. I think I would more than likely. I just love Gemma's assist numbers, and I really think that passing is something that we're going to need, especially if you're going to get a player at that 5'4" spot like Lara. You're going to have someone that has that ability to pass, and I feel like that we do have 3-point shooters on this team, and even if they were lacking this year, they need to get in that gym, and then they need to shoot like 150 threes a day or something, Yeah, and free throws. Yes, work on both of those, and then I think that you don't have to worry about that too much as far as that goes. I think Gemma's defensive numbers I think they speak for themselves, and I really
they're
trust.
Good. I understand.
Yeah,
the
metrically they're good.
About if
yes,
it translates, because she did get toasted a couple times. But I also saw her fight back like the next possession and get a steal against
right,
that.
and it was Haley Cavender. I mean, that's like going up against. I mean, that's like if we were going
Haley
up
Van
against,
Lith level.
Yeah,
player,
those type of players. And,
which
you
you're
know,
gonna see in the Big 12. To be fair.
yeah,
But
you'll see. So I don't know. I think that's where it is. But guys, if you really don't believe Shelby, like I woke up this morning at like 6 a.m. and at 2 a.m. I got like a message saying Gemma or Esther, and I got this whole stat thing, and I'm like, oh, this is hard. Like I can't figure this out. And I know I had accounting this morning, so like like it's hard.
too
Like you
many
have to sit
numbers,
and
man.
look
Too
at
many
it. I
numbers.
know, too many numbers. So you have to look and see. You really have to decide. Do you want someone that's able to drive and finish at the paint, or do you prefer more of that mid-range outside jump shot? To me, I think we need to have some sort of like, good passing presence and good paint presence and good finishing at the rim with
Yeah.
whenever we're dribbling inside. I mean,
I
I don't
just
know.
think the ceiling of Gemma is the point guard that
Yes.
this team has
It's
always
like,
wanted. It's what Gerlich has always wanted in a point guard if it translates. There's a major if it translates. But if she shows up on campus and she has that about her and you can tell in her eyes and the way she talks, like she belongs. She feels like she belongs here, and it's not just a hey, I want to play in the power conference and you're giving me a chance, like, and she doesn't really think she belongs. If they can sense she's like, no, like, I'm going to make you better, and she has that look about her and she wants that challenge, she is the player that they've always wanted because she lives in the paint. 60-something% of her points come in the paint. She averages 5 paint points a game. That's very high for a guard, especially at her size. That's where she gets. And then her other 20% of her points come in transition. What do you always hear Gerlich talking about? Push in transition, try to score in transition. If that's not there, get to the paint and start the offense. Those are things we have questions about what the scheme is, and we're still trying to figure it out. But those are things that she has said for multiple years now in different press conferences. I know that that's something that she wants in her guards. And this is someone that does that. That's how she plays. She pushes it in transition. If it's not there, she's in the paint, kicks it out to her guards, surround her with shooters. They had one of the best shooters in the CAA on that team, which was a forward. They had a great relationship if you watch film. I could see her and Jalen building that type of rapport.
Yep.
Maybe even Adley or Jada, perhaps, those type of shooters. But definitely Jalen kind of building that. Run in transition with her and Kyla. She is fun in transition. Had a couple of behind-the-back passes this year in transition. She has that Spanish. She's from Spain, by the way, guys. That Spanish flair to her game at times. I don't know. Man, it's a greedy thing from me to be like, I think I want them to try it, because it could also crash and burn, right, if she's not ready. But if they think she's ready, she could be the point guard they've always wanted, if it works. And they got to coach her up, and they got to see that she believes it. And then they got to live together in Womble, like sleep, eat, and breathe, getting connected with Bailey and Danae. And, I mean, go watch her film, y'all. The amount of corner threes Danae's about to get because of this girl, she'll skip past it from, like, the other corner all the way across the freaking thing and find someone wide open. I don't even think these players know that they are open before it hits them in the hands. Different level, I get it, but she had 10 assists against Miami. She ain't doing it against nobody. Her assist numbers translated against the power conference. It was the scoring that didn't always, because when she gets to the lane, she's small. And in the power conference level, people are pretty big. And so I do question if she'll be able to score as much in the lane. But I do think facilitating is going to be there for her. And if maybe she can get her three-point shot a little bit better to hit at least around 25-30%, that could really change your game. But interesting player. But I would not be upset if they went the other way with Tahina either, because it's a higher floor player. And she's got some pizzazz to her game, too. And sometimes when I watch her highlights, I'm like, oh, man. But I really like her, too. And I'm going to be really upset if she ends up at a Big 12 school. It's like, I feel like either one of them could burn us. And it's just a matter of which way they go. So it'll be interesting. Maybe they both end up. I still don't know if that makes sense. I kind of like them to go get a slashing type guard. But this is why they're paid the big bucks, and I'm not. So we'll see what they do.
For
we should
sure.
probably leave it there. We're going to run out of time. I could talk about basketball forever. I'm hoping we have some commits, and we can sit here and talk all about these players more in depth when that happens, because we know they're here, and we can just go crazy. But that's kind of where we're at, those 3 this week, and if any more come up, we'll let you know.
Yes, for sure. And then men's basketball, it looks like they also have some visitors. Do you want to go through? I'm not quite sure. I haven't seen their film or anything. Okay. Tyree Bryan from Santa Clara and Lawan Watts from Washington State. Do you have any notes on?
They're visiting or have visited this week.
Okay.
Or will visit. I know there's a dead period that maybe just let up. So I have notes on them, but we probably don't have time. Tyler's got to go hit you booms at his own softball games. But Sounds like those are going well, and we feel pretty confident on them. And I'll leave it there. But those are two players. If you don't know about them, look them up. I'll definitely put out some articles on Red River Sports. People have been asking it. I put out analytics on the women's basketball players on the visits. I didn't do that for the men's basketball ones, and people are asking for it. What I'll do is when they commit, I'm gonna say when, I'll put out the analytic breakdowns for them, and you can read through it if that's stuff you like. It'll be there on Red River Sports for you guys. I love to nerd out, so y'all are asking for it, by goodness. But good little players, good mid-major players, they have good stats. I've looked them up. Typical Grant McCaslin guys, just winners. I know the guy at Delaware. There's another guy on campus from Delaware that's also he's a good player as well. That we'll see how that visit goes, but he has other ones lined up. I think he has Gonzaga on tap as well, which is a program you don't want to necessarily
For sure.
turn down all the time, but so are we. So we'll see how it goes. That is men's basketball. What do you got on what's next? We got baseball. Our baseball team, bless their hearts.
So baseball, they went 1-2 against Cincinnati. They dropped a 12-inning heartbreaker on Friday. Guys, if you want to know how crazy the difference between baseball and softball is, softball finished 2 games before baseball ended their game.
Started at the same time. Game 1 for softball stayed at the same time as game for so. It was not different times.
Yes, insane. Now, granted, we have Nyjah Kennedy pitching, so we can get through 14 innings, pretty quick. Yeah, it's a little unfair. Actually, there was only 5 innings, so 12 innings.
Yeah, we
so
run
the same
ruled them
exact
in
amount. Yeah. So there was that, but yeah, they lost 7-8 in a heartbreaker. I believe from what I was hearing from the people at the softball stands, that I guess at 9 we had the opportunity to win the game with the top of the 9th, and we just couldn't pull through with that. So that was a tough loss. And then Sunday morning, they did take a little bit of a beating. They lost 8-1, but then they were able to salvage the series 12-8 later that day against Cincinnati. They played New Mexico tonight, and I think that they lost 10-5 in Albuquerque. We never win in Albuquerque. It's like cursed over there in most of our sports. So
they lost
I don't know.
today?
Yes, they did.
Oh
they
my
lost today at 3:00. I know.
I
Heartbreaking.
really feel for these guys.
Sad.
I know people
I
just
know.
like to clown on them, but it's the same thing when we're going through women's basketball. Like they're working their asses off. It just sometimes doesn't work for you. It's frustrating.
I know. It's sad. But this weekend, they hope to, hopefully bring it together against Baylor Friday at 6:30, Saturday at 2, and then Sunday at 1. So hopefully this rivalry series will ignite something in them, and they'll all, they'll pull out some
Just need to get some
miraculous
wins.
victories. Yes,
Maybe it's
get
all
some
it
wins.
is.
Get some wins.
And
We're
get
not
demoted.
last in the Big 12, so I mean we have opportunities. We're right in the middle with some other teams. Some other teams have also been dropping, so we just got to work our
you want to
way,
get hot
work
at
our
the
way
right
up.
time. This would be the right time to start getting hot. So positives. They just got to find some pitching. Bless their hearts. I just don't know if that's going to materialize for them mid-year. But we'll see. I hate it for them. We need to find them their own version of
Nyjah Kennedy.
Portal. Sorry, she's one of one, unfortunately, but there's got to be a baseball version out there in the transfer portal next year. Moving on, we have, you know what, I'll talk about tennis because you're the track expert around here. I don't want to steal your thunder because your notes are great, but I know that tennis kept on winning. Doing the damn thing, went back on the road. They beat West Virginia. John Denver went to Texas Tech, if y'all aren't aware. 4-0, swept those Mountaineers. Then went over to Cincinnati and swept Cincinnati as well. That is a road trip that has tripped up many a team. Some of our best teams have been tripped up on that. This is one of our best teams on campus as well. They didn't get tripped up. They're now 10-1, I believe, in Big 12 play. They're ranked 15th in the country as a team. Avi and Maria are 6th overall in the country in doubles. And they close out Big 12 play this weekend at home. They've been gone for a while. They have 2 matches, one on Friday against number 38 Arizona State at 5, and then Sunday against number 31 Arizona at 11. These are massive, massive matches because we are in first place, but these are 2 of the top teams in the conference right behind us that are all kind of fighting for the Big 12 title, and it naturally comes down to this final weekend, but we're home, so I'm probably going to get out there on Friday. It's early, so I can do that and then still get to softball and catch the game. That's a lie. It's at 5, but still, maybe I can catch it a little bit before it of the match, and then Sunday at 11. If they're going to be celebrating a Big 12 title, I'll be at whichever one. I need to get up with their SID and find out if they win on Friday, if they could clinch it, or if it's like they need to win both. But Get out to McLeod Center. It's over there right by softball, I believe. If you've never been, is that right?
Yes,
Yeah,
right
it's
there,
right
right
next
next to it.
You could
Yes.
go to both. Park in this same parking lot. Go watch tennis. Pop over. Catch both of them on Friday and Sunday. So that's tennis on the women's side.
Yes. And then over on the men's tennis side, they had a tough weekend at home. They dropped to number 2 TCU. They were able to get one match off of them, so they lost 4-1. And then they play Baylor and Waco on Thursday at 6, and then they return home for UCF at 2 o'clock on Sunday. So it looks like the women will go first, then the men on Sunday. And then as far as track goes, they had just a 1-day meet at the Master Rider Invitational. We talked about that last week about the weather. Here are some notable people. Fanny Arendt, our 800-meter runner,
Just keeps doing it.
competed in the 400-meter, and she won the open event with a new personal best time of 54.25 seconds. 54 seconds to run to run 2 laps around the. Oh no, 400. She did that in the 400. Okay, I was like,
I was sorry. I was choking. I was like, I'm sorry. That's got to be like a world record.
yeah. Sorry, the 400-meter, she completed the personal best with
Still,
54
that's really good.
seconds. Yes, very good stuff
I was
from
like,
her.
wait a second.
Yeah, I was like, wait, that doesn't seem right, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
And then also we had a few long distance runner on the men and women's side that went down to the 1500-meter. Titus Kamaru won on the men's side, going 3 minutes and 46.58 seconds. And then Brenda Klebor led the women with a time of 4 minutes 37.91 seconds. After breaking the women's shot put record last week, Amori Pearson won the event, throwing at 53 feet. Trey Wilson won the men's competition in throwing at 61 feet and 9.5 inches. Lily Mather ran the 5K for the first time in her collegiate career, winning the event with a time of 17 minutes and 33.92 seconds. And then, guys, we say her name every single week this track season. Our
Low-key.
girl, Shelby Frank, won the women's discus throw with 190 feet and 1 inch. It's the number 9 throw all time for Texas Tech. She also won the hammer throw that day with a mark of 204 feet and 10 inches, which is number 3 all time for Texas Tech. Shelby Frank, have yourself a track
the
season.
damn
Put your
thing.
name in those record books. Do
I
the
mean,
damn thing.
Like, the record book is just her at this point. I swear. Like, I really
And
want to. I
throwing,
can't
yeah.
wait to look at the media guide when they update it after this year, and it's just like Shelby Frank, Shelby Frank,
Shelby Frank.
Like, it owns the entire top 10 of everything that she does. Just Hall of Fame level stuff, and she's just arrived on campus in January as a transfer.
Crazy.
Like, just obscene. And we'll round this out with golf. So men's golf placed 6th out of 15 at the Augusta Haskins Award Invitational in Augusta, Georgia, where the Masters is going on, by the way. So they got to hang out and see their guy, Ludwig Aberg, who was there doing that. I saw pictures where they went over and watched the actual Masters. I guess this is like in conjunction at the same time, so the college players can have their little tournament going on. But the Masters, I believe, is going on this weekend, or maybe is next weekend. I saw a picture of them. They posted it. It's a cool picture on the men's golf page. So they're down there. Callum Scott finished 15th at 2 under par. Charlie DeLong 20th at 1 under par. And Callum Scott is now 14th in the PGA Tour University standings as an individual player. Rounded out with the women's team. They won 2 in a row and then almost went for 3 in a row. But let them know. Just finished today in the tournament going on right now.
Yeah, so they finished runner-up in the Vertex Bank Collegiate in Dallas today. They were so close. They were actually leading this morning, and then Houston ended up coming up and winning that. But, I kind of feel for Houston after that sad men's basketball loss for them last night. So, maybe their women's golf team, okay, I'll let it slide. But we ended up getting second in that. Kylie Lowe, she finished 7th. Danique Stokemans finished 11th. Clara Hurtova in Maja Ambrosiak, sorry if I said your name wrong, finished 15th. And then they will be preparing for the Big 12 championships next Tuesday through Thursday. So women's golf championships are first. So they'll
Where are
be
they at? Do you know?
sitting there. I'm not quite sure.
Stumped you.
Yes.
I was wondering if they were in Lubbock. That would have been hype. Probably not. They've been here before, but I don't think they are this year. I think we would have seen that, but we'll find out. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. All the things, y'all. Again, go to the Rock this weekend. I really don't want to punch you. I don't want to go to violence here, but please go watch the softball team. And you should do it now before you can't get tickets, because I think it's going to start heating up again like it was earlier in the year literally since the weather is. I think there'll be some good crowds this weekend. Go out, have some fun, watch some of the best players in the country, one of the best teams in the country, maybe making some history, making their way to a Big 12 title. Women's tennis trying to do the same thing, win a Big 12 title. That could happen this weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, big matches. Everything else, baseball, trying to get back on track. They got Baylor in town. Women's basketball got portal visitors. Men's basketball, if you pass the Womble, just send good vibes. Very busy over there overall.
Christian Anderson's returning. Big
we
news
didn't
with
talk about
that. Yes.
C4, Christian Anderson announced that he's returning. I think you might see another post like that for another player on the team soon. That's my hint. I think a lot of people probably have already picked up on that, but there we go. And then another one in D5 has hit the portal and entered the NBA draft. I don't know if he'll be back, but we'll leave that up to him. Wish him the best. If not, he's got to do what's best for him. But it sounds like a couple of our dogs have decided to stick around and build. So, yeah, that's the world we live in. A lot of change all the time. We're Red Raiders through and through, and we're going to fight with whoever's here. They fight, we fight. That's the motto around here. So we'll see who's fighting for Texas Tech, and that's who we're going to fight for on Seeking Scarlet. That's kind of how I have to do it. Otherwise, too much drama. I can't keep up.
Real. But yeah, y'all get out there this weekend, support your Texas Tech sports teams, and let's wreck all of them. Wreck them all.
Wreck 'em all. Rag 'em.